between both of these iPhones. The iPhone 17 has that Apple A19 chipset inside of it with 8 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 14 has that Apple A15 Bionic chip inside of it with 6 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one's the faster one between both. Okay, all the apps are cleared out in the background as you can see, so let's get into it. Phone calls 3, 2, 1, and the 14 is on the left, the iPhone 17 is on the right, and you can even see from opening up those applications, and definitely some glitches already going on the iPhone 14. You can even see when you're opening up an application, let alone the speed, just the way the application kind of opens is a little bit more stutterier, kind of glitchier on the iPhone 14. Also keep in mind this application, this phone, is on iOS 26. So there could be some slight issues from that standpoint. But even then, you can kind of see even opening up an app is definitely faster on the iPhone 17, and you're definitely going to feel that too. However, some small minor applications are going to be similar. But you can kind of see just from the speed performance, there are some improvements. But I don't think that would be the main reason why I would upgrade. It's just like the bigger upgrades, like when you start going through and actually using these types of devices, that's when you're going to start kind of seeing those little tiny things become bigger things when you're opening up bigger applications. So these small minor ones, it might not be like a super big deal or anything like that. On top of that, when you're actually like kind of using your phone, the biggest thing you're probably going to notice too is kind of that 120 hertz ProMotion display. The lack of ProMotion, the lack of 60 hertz really does kind of age something like an iPhone 14. When you load up into an application like Temple Run 2, because it's loading more, because it's having to require more downloading and all that, the downloading speeds and loading speeds are overall going to be faster on an iPhone 17. But the 14 is still putting in work. This one still feels like a very fast device. And even now, even if the 17 is like the fastest iPhone right now, it's not like my iPhone 14 is like super slow or anything. I feel like my iPhone 14 is still giving me a pretty good experience from that standpoint too. Like in almost every single way, the 17 is going to be faster, as it should be. But this is like 3 years newer, and you can kind of see for yourself, it's not really like that big of a difference, and there can be glitches on both as well. I'm just expecting more glitches from something like an iPhone 14, but my 17 is still doing a really good job. You can kind of see that the 17 is kind of the faster one, but I think my iPhone 14 is still doing a pretty good job. But like I said, when you start loading up these bigger applications, that's when you're going to start noticing it. So you have to ask yourself, are you loading up these really big games? Are you doing a lot of big intensive work? If you are, then something like an iPhone 17 is definitely going to be a really big upgrade. But if you're going into something like an iPhone 14, it's still not really that bad. You're still going to be able to get a really good experience from something like an iPhone 14 when it comes down to it. So in terms of that side, that kind of covers it up there. Now in terms of the cameras, this was another big key area.